Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and the last 12 or so hours have been busy. Last night I had my son's baseball awards, my high school son's baseball awards, and he won the pitcher award. He's a lefty pitcher. And then this morning I had my younger son's school program where they had their award ceremony for the end of school. And so while I was at both of those things for the last, 12 plus hours, I was watching as all kinds of news came through in the crypto world. So let's get this going. But first I wanted to mention Clinton Donnelly, one of my sponsors at Crypto Tax Fixer. He's got CryptoTaxAudit.com, and he has a way for you to protect yourself if you're worried about being audited by the IRS, early warning, basic coverage, and audit defense. Now, I'm going to put a link to CryptoTaxAudit.com in the top of the description of this video. This guy specializes in crypto. He does all kinds of things. He can even be like a consultant in addition to your current accountant. And so if your current accountant does not know some of the answers, he does it all. So check the link up there if you have any issues going on. Check this out. Swift. We're collaborating with Capgemini to explore how Swift can interlink multiple domestic-based CBDC networks emerging worldwide to make cross-border payments with digital currencies more seamless and frictionless. What company do I know who is helping to build CBDCs? Well, I know a couple. Ripple and Stellar are both doing this. If you remember, Stellar is working on helping with a CBDC in the Ukraine. Ripple's working in Bhutan and I think one or two other places, and a lot, according to Brad Garlinghouse, that have not been announced. All right, now check this out. I thought this was an interesting thread by this Hasher Ventures. CBDCs, and this guy's kind of interesting. Look what his thing says. Says that he, Oxford University Blockchain Strategy Program, MIT Business Implications, MBA Global Management. So this guy's no dummy. CBDCs transacting with bridge asset XRP will put downward pressure on USD demand. In one act, the SEC lawsuit stalls the globe's crypto forward movement by protecting the USD. The XRP lawsuit was serendipitous tool for the Ethereum free pass to try and build a moat there. That's what it feels like, folks. That's why I like this thread. Then this guy says, are you hinting that this Ripple lawsuit will be over soon? Not hinting. Lawsuit will be over soon. There's a thumbnail. That's thumbnail action right there. Lawsuit will soon be over. Because he's right. I mean, we already know it's going to be over, but it's still a good thumbnail. Lawsuit will soon be over. Will be over soon, 6 to 9 months. The bulk of systemic crypto adoption occurs in 2024 to 2025, with some lead up late 2022, 2023. Now, I'm going to build on this in a minute with a thing that Bank of America said. But a lot of people, I think that there's a concerted effort by the media and the powers that be to make this Terra Luna thing symbolic of all of crypto, and now we're in a crypto winter and all this. I don't think it's that way at all. I think that's what they're trying to do, but I don't think that's not the way I see it at all. I see it as an awesome freaking buying the dip opportunity for me in XRP and XLM, and that's what I have been doing and will be doing. So, but I think that this is all strategically to try to pound down the crypto markets at least one last time before the real adoption comes. And I think Bank of America agrees with me, and we'll get there in a minute, but let's finish this. XRP is a cryptocurrency, and the SEC will never be able to prove their claim that it is somehow an unregistered security. There was never an intent to prove it. Success will be measured in how long they can delay XRP Ripple. Okay, the fact that their motives are this nefarious, and John Deaton has said this on several occasions, this is why people like myself and hundreds and thousands of people in the XRP community are determined, if this is what they want to do, if this is their motive, instead of being an agency that protects investors, if this is what they want to do, some government plan, instead of actually protecting investors and instead hurting XRP holders, if that's what their plan is, then we're going with nothing but the truth and their own words and the timeline and video of their own words, we're going to show the world who these people are. And don't think for a minute, if you're supposed to be one of the good guys like Hester Pierce, that your reputation won't be tarnished too, because you continue to go right along with it. She'll every once in a while she'll say a little comment here and a little comment there, but she's not whistleblowing. And so at some point, all those people's reputations are tied up in Gary Gensler and what he's doing. That's all I'm saying. So that's what we'll do. Look, this is from Stefan Huber. I think this is actually from some of the motions going around right now. The SEC is literally not even willing, this is part of their delay tactics, they're not even willing to admit that this is Bill Hinman at this FinTech Week conference recording November 5th, 2018. Subject to all the foregoing objections, the Commission denies this request. After reasonable inquiry, the information known and currently available is not sufficient to enable the Commission to admit or deny this request. So they're not even going to admit, they're not even admitting the basic things. All they're trying to do is stall. Now, that leads me to this video, because these people, this is down and dirty right here. Everything around this thing, now watch this.
This is the 10th anniversary of the whole Bernie Madoff scandal. I know you weren't there then, but can you tell us, is the SEC different than it was back then? Is there anything that exists now that would help ensure that that kind of scandal, something of that magnitude, won't happen again?
You know what, Bob? Scandals are never the same. They rhyme. I worry all the time about what the next scandal might be. And I can tell you that there are 4,600 people at the SEC that are, if they don't have it in the front of their mind, they certainly have Madoff in the back of their mind. And we continue to worry about whether there's something like that on the horizon. Or any of those other people.
Recently, Christine Lagarde came out publicly and said that she could see a time when cryptocurrencies were backed effectively by governments.
I don't know if this is copyrighted or not, so I have to talk a little bit.
People wonder about is, if something like that were to ultimately happen, would that be validating of all of these new forms of currency, whether it's Bitcoin or Ethereum or any of these other kinds of things? Or would you think would ultimately crowd out these things because you'd finally have a regulated version of this?
I think we'll see.
So he's in on the whole thing. He knows exactly what's going to happen. And then there's this. Ripple launches veiled threat to subpoena Amy Starr, Hester Pierce, Bill Hinman, Jay Clayton, and Robert Jackson if the SEC fails to confirm public statements made by them. This is getting juicy. Defendants to be forced to subpoena these individuals. Well, looks like subpoena needs to be subpoena Jay Clayton. That's who they need, and Bill Hinman. Subpoena needs to be on the thumbnail too. How about that? That's what I'm talking about. Okay, now, but we're not done yet. I have a lot of stuff. I might have to break this up into a second video. Then John Deaton commented on this. If I were a judge, I would look at the SEC with serious anger. These particular requests for admissions only ask the SEC to admit that these are statements of Clayton, Hinman, Jackson, and Hester Pierce. It doesn't require the SEC to admit that the statements are relevant. Okay, and then there's this. Okay, boom. Ripple believes that Jay Clayton is still working with the SEC. Listen to this. Jay Clayton, William Hinman, Robert Jackson for the following reasons. Clayton, Hinman, Jackson are all high-level former officials who appear to be readily available to the SEC. Indeed, Mr. Hinman has been represented by the SEC in the course of this litigation. We believe that as custodian, Mr. Clayton has likewise been cooperating with the SEC in this litigation. The inquiry is a narrow one, asking only to confirm that a small number of recordings of their remarks at public events are authentic. Just one recording for Mr. Hinman, one for Mr. Clayton, and 3 for Mr. Jackson, and it is far less expensive. Okay, so I say this against the backdrop of all that. The midterm elections are getting closer. This is a thread I created. Name one person, just one, in Congress who has not called for an investigation of ETHgate, the Ethereum ICO, disguised whales, the Ethereum free pass, Bill Hinman, or Jay Clayton and their conflicts of interest. Name one who has not called. In other words, name them all. None of them. Warren Davidson, Tom Emmer. None of them. Elizabeth Warren, Maxine Waters, Darren DeSoto. Let me think of some other. None of them. None of them have called for an investigation. And don't give me that, oh, we don't have the majority. That's a cop-out if there ever was a cop-out. That doesn't prevent you from applying the political pressure that would come with you calling for an investigation. People would take notice. That's a coward's way out. Don't play that game. Not on the Digital Asset Investor channel. Now, check this out. This is interesting right here. This is from the link to Global Investor Conference. And by the way, he's going to talk about Ripple here. So just a reminder, go and check out the link to platform. They still have some shares of Ripple on there that are temporarily, I think they've got at a discount because they're able to get a large bulk amount of them. I'll put that up towards the top of the description too. This guy's name is Jared Kenna. Listen to his story.
The topic title is Genesis of Ripple.
So I was really early in Bitcoin. I built the first Bitcoin exchange in the United States, which was the second Bitcoin exchange on the planet. The first time Mt. Gox really dropped the ball was July 2011. So we were operating at the time, and we went from doing about 30% of the global volume, give or take, to 100% of it for all the Bitcoin transactions on the planet for a little while. It was a really weird time. We launched the same day that Chuck Schumer came out and said it's only good for money laundering, drugs, terrorism, I think child porn. Same day I went to get a bank account. They Googled that, opened it for some reason. And so we blew up really fast. We didn't expect that. We had $1 million in the first couple of days. We're like, holy shit, we didn't. I really wasn't prepared for it. My background before that, I was in the Marine Corps, blowing shit up. And then I went to Afghanistan as a military contractor for a few years, took that money, and that's how I got started in Bitcoin. I didn't know what AML was. I didn't know what KYC was. I was on the phone with the bank, had $1 million in the account, and they said, what's your AML policy? I Googled AML. And I was like, fuck. And true story. And I just told them I'll have my lawyer get in touch with you, and then I had to get a lawyer. So it was a hell of a ride. Grew too fast, all that stuff. We acquired Bitcoin.com and some other things. It was interesting as hell. Where Ripple comes into play, I was living in San Francisco. I started in Chile, and then I moved to San Francisco, as you do when your tech company explodes. And I was friends with Arthur Brito, David Schwartz, and Jed McCaleb. David Schwartz was one of the first people I met in Bitcoin at a Google conference. Ran into him, and he looked like his avatar, and I said, "Are you David Schwartz?" And he said, "Are you Jared Kenna?" And I said I was impressed with what he was doing. He said, "Man, you're where the rubber meets the road." He's like, "You have to deal with these banks." He's like, "You're the one that's doing all the hard work." And I thought he was joking, and he was an incredibly smart guy, and he was definitely right. So, anyways, I knew those three guys, and they were working on something that was to become Ripple. And then I happened to know Chris Larson, who founded Prosper, and this is gonna be funny. I had just managed to get a hold of a 41-bedroom crack house in San Francisco, and it was a disaster. I just got it. I was going to renovate it, live in it with friends, and make it nice. And we were sweeping up hypodermic needles. It was bad. And Chris said, "I want you to tell me what you think the future is after Bitcoin, and I'll swing by and we can have a chat." So I put it on my phone, and I was helping my friend Eric move and I wasn't paying attention. And I didn't see the notification. I left Chris in the kitchen of an old crack house. Maybe an hour. And I said, oh shit, and I helped my, so if I ever say, I'm gonna help you move, I'm legit, I'll do it. And I got back, and this Porsche was parked outside and still had all the windows in it. And I went inside, and he was just sitting in the kitchen. I'm like, man, you're still here. So we went up on the roof, which was the only place that wasn't really, really dirty. And I pitched Chris on Ripple. And sounds funny. And Chris was like, okay, this makes a lot of sense. And then I called up Jed and I said, hey, I pitched Jed on Chris. So that Jed and I went over to Chris's house.
I just realized I may have one of the greatest titles that I've ever, of any video I've ever done. I can see it now. Ripple chairman in a crack house. It will be done.
And basically, that's how Ripple, pretty much got started. And I provided some feedback and whatnot, but really what I did was connect those guys and kind of pitch them on each other. I kind of think of myself as like the Buzz Osborne of crypto, and that name.
All right, that's enough of that. I thought that was a fascinating story. Look, Michael Arrington tweeted Ripple party. To be clear, I'm on my couch. Arrington team sent this to me. I think Michael Arrington lives down in Miami now. I think I saw him say that one time. Miami's a nice place. In fact, when I went to Bitcoin Miami this past time, I was I went to a restaurant. It was like a little bar restaurant right on the bay there where you could see all these yachts coming in. It was really cool. Check this out. Ripple ODL is coming to Lithuania. We're excited to partner with Fluency to open up a new payments corridor between Europe and Mexico, making it easier than ever for consumers. And to all of you out there, oh, well, XRP's never going to be used. XRP's never going to be used. Not by banks and financial institutions. Lithuanian online money transfer provider Fluency is partnering with Ripple to enable faster, lower-cost cross-border payments with RippleNet's on-demand liquidity. Uses XRP, the cryptocurrency built for payments, to enable frictionless cross-border payments at a fraction of the cost and at a faster rate than traditional payment rails. So sorry to all of you that said XRP's never going to be used, and to Mike Novogratz, who just doesn't get it, I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family that XRP is being used by banks and financial institutions. And that's the fact, Jack.